Hello, and welcome to season 4 of Super Prose Bros. I'm player 2, Eli, and with me, as always, is.
Player one, Ike, and a Robocop. Did you know that this pod is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spoofy?
I did not, Captain Brolt. Are those the same places people could
Like?
comment
Sure?
and subscribe?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't checked though. It's been a minute.
I see.
Speaking of being literally a minute, we're getting back in the groove of doing things on a little bit more of a weekly basis. So what's happened in those last 6 days?
Uh, not much. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. Not much. Um, I, I've gone to work. Um, like, I mean, it's been
It
like.
sounds like you're a kid trying to do their daily diary entry so they don't get spanked. You're like, oh fuck,
I
oh,
went to
that's boring.
school.
Yeah.
I was say, let's say I've been getting back in like more regular like swimming, which has been good. I made I got that would have been that was not this week, that was last week. Never mind. Um, it's all blurring together, man. I was say I don't know, I've been fucking playing a dumb character in Path of Exile and getting outrageous luck in that game, but it's not super noteworthy. Um, I yeah, uh, I went and hung out with a friend the other night. Okay, I will just retell this story because it is hilarious, in my opinion.
It is very
It
funny.
is very funny. So yesterday I go meet a friend of mine, Maple. We haven't seen each other in like 2 months,
How do you
probably.
know this person, by the way?
We met up originally for a date, and then went, this doesn't work. But like, they were an absolute weeb, and so I'm like, hey, I can fucking get along with this. So like, and we've got like most people go out and like watch movies or go just like get dinner together or something like that. They're also the same person that beat my ass at pinball.
Hell yeah.
Um, oh yeah, I committed fucking war crimes because she is very good at pinball. Um,
Give it to him. Give it to him.
yeah, what was the fucking score difference? It was like 6 million to 130 or something. I was just like, okay, okay, just put me under the ground, thank you. Um, so anyway, I tell people yesterday I'm like playing games with. I'm like, hey, I gotta head out. I'm gonna go get dinner. And people are like, ooh, because my friends are degenerates and the most aggressively sex positive people I know, which is both heartwarming and uncomfortable at times. Anyways, it's I'm like, no, that's not what's happening. It's a platonic meetup. And Sean just goes, uh-huh, sure it is. I see how it's going. I'm like, for fuck's sake. No, that's tomorrow. I see Eli, and then inevitably things will happen, but not tonight. Uh-huh. Okay, have fun. I leave. Which is like, I can't convince you otherwise. Fuck you. Whatever. I'm going to dinner. Leave. I come back later that night, after Maple heads home. I had a good time, shot the shit, had sushi. The last time we met up, we actually had sushi, and the place was terrible. So it's good that the place near my apartment is actually pretty solid.
Nice.
Yeah, big fan. Though I will never reorder one of the rolls I got. They fucking drowned that shit in sweet chili sauce. And it would have been really good if it wasn't drowned in sweet chili sauce. Such is life. Um, Come back and they go, "Oh, how was the date?" And I was like, "Wasn't really a date." And like, "Uh huh, sure it wasn't." I didn't know this, but apparently Nicole occasionally has issues with like migraines, and so she was laying down on the couch, and so she hears Sean talking to me and pushing this insistence that like clearly I had just gotten laid, and she perks up and goes, "Wait, did Eli lie to us? Did he actually get laid?" Like worried and affronted that I might not have let her in on every juicy detail. It's like, for fuck's sake, guys. So I had to message her. I'm like, I am both flattered and mildly concerned at your investment on my sex life. I'm not gonna lie to you, Nicole. You should take it down a notch. But yeah, otherwise things have been all right. I did make myself like actually start writing again, which felt very very
Yay!
good to do. And I just got myself start editing again, and then we'll actually be on track to be a human. Um,
Woohoo!
I know. Yeah. So my world's been pretty banal this last week. What about you?
So, remember how last week I was talking about, oh, I think this is over, even though it's just a feeling, and oh, trust the feeling.
Yeah.
So,
Feeling was right.
feeling was right and it was wrong. Is weird.
Oh, okay.
Well, so I said that feeling Sunday morning because I hadn't heard from them for 24 hours. A little bit aggressive, but gut feeling. Bless you.
Sorry.
You're good. And then later that evening, still nothing. My plan was to send one more kind of nudge email because they are a busy person.
Sure.
Um, and then if nothing the following day, be like, okay, I get the picture. This is over. However, as I think we did get along pretty well, is there anything I could not do in the future? Yada yada. Would like some perspective because she seemed like a smart person.
Sure.
Nudge got somewhere. We were planning on having a second date on Tuesday. Tuesday got canceled because she had one of the worst sounding experiences in a client come across the table, wherein so she works in a I don't know what the technical term is, but she works in courts as somebody who deals with who children are under the care of,
Okay.
usually like custody stuffs.
Sure.
Um, what came across her plate at like as she was looking to leave at like 6:45 was somebody else's overload that got passed to her because I think she like works directly for the courts as like the kind of automatic assignment sort of person.
Sure.
A kid no longer had a mother or father because murder suicide, that to get out of the house to police care they had to walk through, which is a fucking lot.
Yeah.
So
To say the
that
least.
kid's fucked forever. uh Hope that the person I was seeing is able to Batman the shit out of that person's life and help them, but fucking rough.
Yeah.
So understandably canceled date, bummer. Fun times are gonna be had instead. Her night and that kid's life were turned into dog shit. Set to meet the next day, and then they let me know, hey, and we talked about this off the air. They gave the well-meaning but dagger of a line of "You're great, but I don't think this is what I want," which I understand the idea. The outcome is not what the input is, but still understand why people say that. Still got the double dickening, triple dickening, I feel, of felt ghosted, rekindled, had date canceled for horrible reasons, and then had what the beginnings of a relationship dissolve all over the course of like 4 days. So that was rough. However, through talking to smart people, my co-host, and screaming twice in my car, which honestly, I am okay with doing that as a reaction to this given experience. I actually was doing quite well by the end of Wednesday. So while it was rough, I do think handled it well. So yay me. And also, it was an interesting for my ego. This is an interesting experience to have because it allows me to not. I think this is like a good thing to have happened in such a big way that I'll remember it, because I think one of the things I constantly do is like, oh, the worst has happened, the worst has happened. It's like, well, this time it felt like the worst happened and it didn't. So, but also it still ended up happening. So not to like
Jump the
use
gun.
this as a proof that it helps balance out the range for like, so to speak, of like it's not always bad, but it's not good. So, just kind of sit in the middle and just ride it out.
Yeah.
So that happened. Also this week, somebody else that I was looking at seeing had a mental breakdown via text, which that is a scary and exhausting thing to deal with, is when somebody is like on the verge of being suicidal and they're doing it via
Hmm.
text is fucking wild.
Hmm.
So got to help them ride that out, which great for them. I don't think the relationship is a thing that's going to happen to the point where I gave what we esteemed to be the best kind of way to like break something off with somebody,
Mhm.
which is like not ghosting, not saying, "Oh, you're great, but rather being like, "Look, I don't think this is headed in the right direction. Sorry if you feel like I wasted any of your time. I wish you the best of luck. Assalamu alaikum." Uh, which then turned into it is since transmogrified into something curious. And they're like, "Well, I want to be friends and like hang out." And the way they wrote it, I'm gonna mildly entertain the idea. So notes on that later. I don't know how that's gonna turn out, but potentially new friend question mark? I don't know. It's curious. And I'm not saying that from a point of I don't want them to hurt themselves, although that was something I made very clear. I was like, look, if you need somebody to talk to,
Yeah.
not after they wanted to be friends, but before, like if you need somebody to talk to, you can
Yeah.
always message me. I'm here to be somebody to listen.
Sure.
I like being there for people and like people who also have depression having, a network. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out. Um, that's pretty much all that happened this week. Nothing. Nothing amazing other than that. I don't think.
Oh, there's a bird outside. Because I see my cat stalking. Heimdall is approaching the window like he's gonna murder somebody.
Death is on the menu.
Yeah. Just
Well, since we know what's on that cat's menu, what is on our listeners' menu this episode?
nailed it.
Boom.
So we are going to give kind of a little top five of things we appreciate in a well written show because we love a good running joke, we love a good callback, and we gotta love a good introduction.
Facts.
No printer.
Wow. Nice.
Regret nothing.
No, you shouldn't. That's fucking amazing. All right. With that, you've earned the right. Start us off. What's your favorite? What's your first favorite running joke?
I am a sucker for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I think they have one of my favorite running
What?
jokes ever. Title
No.
your sex tape. Just whenever it's something that can be kind of misconstrued, title your sex tape is a weird way to personally dig at people. And possibly my favorite is when Jake and Amy hook up. God, I hope I'm not going to regret this. I hope you're not going to regret this. Title your sex tape. Title of our sex tape. It's great. It runs the gambit, and it's used in the final episode too, because Holt does it once, or he technically does it twice, but he does it once, like as Holt.
Yeah. So my first favorite running joke is Roger is every new character in American Dad. Starting with I think it's like probably like season 3 or season 4 after Roger starts to get to leave the house, which thank God
Yeah,
they like wrote that in because that him always being in the house and having to hide was getting really tired. So once he
yeah,
gets the Kevin Bacon nose, and, which is I think where it starts is he gets like a nose kit, wears the Kevin Bacon out and around, and like kind of gets a bit up himself. But I think that's where it kind of starts. I
hmm
think it's like season 3 or so. Uh, really good writing convention, really allowed the show to get bigger. And in this way, it's fantastic. Where I think it's starting in like season 4 or 5, he starts becoming these side characters that
that everyone interacts with.
everyone interacts with. It's usually one character. Like it's one
Yeah.
character's
It's like
arc that episode is interacting. Like they're gonna go do this new thing,
yeah, they're gonna go.
and
They're gonna go meet somebody for something. And it's fucking always
yeah,
Roger.
the a horse whisperer, a fucking a guide. My favorite one is the Francine goes to Guatemala or something like that, and she's going to meet up with somebody. And the whole way, Roger's like, when we get there, I cannot stress this enough. When we get there, it's going to be me. I know you see me right now and I'm coming with you, but it's going to be me. We're all clear on this. And then Francine's looking at Roger. She's like, so I'm going to turn around right now and you're going to be there, but it's someone else. And you're going to be gone. He goes, yeah, I usually don't get to come out here with you guys. I usually have to get here before you guys. So this has been really nice. And then Francine turns around, like, I'm Francis Mole Mac, not Francis Mole Man or some fucking absurd name. She turns back around. The plane she came in is taking off. Roger's in the plane being like, bye. She turns back around. Roger's like out of breath. He goes, all right, that's enough turning around. It's just an awesome bit that can only be done with this long, like, running joke setup over multiple seasons. It's so fantastic.
I think my favorite one might be when they're like haunted.
And so they call it like the medium.
The Exorcist, yeah. And so like Stan opens the door and sees it's Roger, and then just slams it shut. And he looks the rest of the family, and goes, "All right, are we really doing this?" And Steve just goes, "Well, do you have an alter ego that's a spirit medium?" Guess not. He opens the door. I just love like are we really doing this? It's such a great running bit. I think they kind of jumped the shark with the whole like all of them being simultaneous in one episode a little bit, but sure.
Overall,
two
banger.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, big fan. Like what else is on? Sorry, go.
I was gonna say, it is the occasional stumble, but it fucking makes it. It adds so much to that show.
Yeah, when you're making a new character every episode, basically, you're going to have some that just don't. But by and large, it's like, yeah, winner.
Yeah.
So, what running joke do you steal from me, you piece of shit?
Phrasing. Early Archer and like OG first like 5 seasons of Archer, fucking great. I loved early Archer. And one of the best, stupidest running gags is whenever there was something remotely sexual or something that sounded like an innuendo was said. Phrasing.
It's a banger.
Yeah, just kind of without fail, just to be a nuisance. And then for a while they didn't do it. And then just like it gets kind of brought back with, do we just quit doing phrasing? It's one of those like stupid bits of toilet humor that I'm like, it just makes me giggle, and I absolutely say it in my real life day to day, 100%.
It definitely is one that I need to like bring back in my life. There was a really good one that happened a while ago with Joel Osteen. Had this really fucking stupid. Oh, I need to look this up now.
Okay.
Joel Osteen Archer meme. I remember this happening. I found it on like one click. All right, so Joel Osteen and his stupid fake ass grin hiding behind evil and money laundering. Do not swallow anything Satan is trying to ram down your throat. Jesus comes first. First, like on a lot of responses to that on online forums, whereas Archer being like, "Holy shit, phrasing."
Good God. What a sentence.
Yeah. Coming from what a guy.
Who the fuck is Joel Osteen?
He's the fucking douchebag mega church guy that is, in it for the money, not for anything good.
So he's another person like Kenneth Copeland. Okay.
Yeah, he's probably the newest, crispiest model. Yeah. I mean, I understand why people go to his church. Guy looks like he can fuck. All the other fat turds that are on like boats are just kind of like perplexing. Joel Osteen looks like a ravishingly handsome man. An evil one.
He looks like a young Tim Allen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slight foreshadowing. Anyway, my next favorite running joke also didn't start in. I don't think it starts early in season 1. If it starts in season 1, it might start late in season 1. But the dean of what the fuck is the name of the? Hold on, I'm just realizing I don't
Care about
know.
the school.
Yeah,
Is it like not Silverdale? River
Greendale.
Greendale.
The dean of the Greendale Community College,
Silver.
always showing up in a different outfit. Like I think it's after I think it's like half to 2/3 of the way through season 1. It just became a thing that they did in either every or damn near every episode, where he just shows up wearing wild costumes for some absurd reason. The fucking the the one for the sock hop where he's in black and white face is wild.
Oh, I wonder if someone has made a supercut of. I'm sure someone has made like a supercut of every introduction of the dean to just see what wacky shit he's wearing.
I'm YouTubing supercut dean outfits community. Yep. All of Dean Pelton's costumes, 8 minutes.
Good God.
There's all the ones I knew and a lot more. Holy macaroni and cheese. All right, I'm gonna have to include that. Yeah, just all-time banger. So what's next on your favorite running joke-o-meter?
I have loved South Park for a long fucking time. And oh my God, you killed Kenny, you bastards. I don't know what kind of running gag or running shtick has gone for as long as that did, because it went for like 15 seasons where just every episode Kenny died. And it got to the point that they started using it in other ways. Like there's a whole little arc that is about Kenny dying and like the fallout from Kenny dying. And at the end of it, Kenny just shows back up and like nothing has happened, and they just resume.
There's that one, and then there's the like Coon and Friends or whatever, right?
Yeah, where it's like he's a superpower. He's like, I don't die. And like, oh yeah. And he's like, don't, seriously, guys, I don't die. Yeah,
well, it's like everybody always forgets that he dies.
Exactly. Like, they just forget. And so like at the end of it, he's like, fuck this, I'm just going home. Boom, and he just shoots himself in the head.
And then his mom has to birth him out.
Yeah.
That's the insane thing, is that effectively for the first 15 seasons, poor Kenny's mom is giving birth effectively every episode, if not every day. Yeah. Jesus. Like also, out of nowhere.
Yeah. There's also one where like there's an episode that get to the end and Kyle and Stan are like, man, I feel like we forgot about something. Yeah, I know. I feel like something's missing. It just pans to Kenny who's like shaking, like but yeah, they just go to such weird lengths to kill him. Like it's just such a bizarre running gag. I fucking love it. Like they eventually kind of moved away from it, but they'll still occasionally just do it for
fun.
Oh Jesus, I have a friend now. What's next?
So next up, we've got one of my least favorite shows with one of my favorite running gags, which is Jim pranking Dwight. Now, I've said on this show that I fucking hate Jim Halpert. I think him and fucking what's-her-face are not a good relationship goal, despite the internet being retarded in that regard. That Dwight is not deserving of all the hate he has received, despite them having the character be really fucking annoying, kind of ugly, and having Jim be annoyingly handsome. That being said, the pranks are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Every fucking one of them, like to start the episode, they are bangers in a strictly comedic sense of just like, yeah, it's fucking hilarious to to every day put slightly more weight in somebody's phone, and then suddenly one day take all of them out, so they just fucking punch themselves in the face with their own phone.
He's like, he's loading it with like quarters.
Yeah, just a quarter a day, and then takes like 20 of them out and just like rails himself in the face.
I forgot about that one.
There's that day where he convinces everybody else in the office to go along with it and hires an Asian guy to impersonate him. And everyone's like, yeah, that's Jim. He's like, that's not fucking Jim.
I actually haven't seen that one. That's incredible.
Or the time that he puts Dwight's, I think it's his stapler or his phone, in a Jello mold, and he can't get it out.
What?
Yeah, he just like comes to the office and like, I don't remember if it's his phone or his fucking stapler, but it's in like a fucking like 1950s Jello mold. Like he made him like a Jello cake and just like in there. But I mean, your and mine favorite is
the fucking desk. He wraps the desk and the chair, except it's not his desk and chair that's wrapped. It's completely fake. It's like cardboard.
Yeah.
Goes to sit down and drops his fucking briefcase on it, and all just collapses to the fucking floor.
After him being very high and mighty about how easily he's going to be able to extricate his desk.
Yeah. Oy, oy. I forgot about the fucking phone one though. Oh, it is so devilish. It's so good.
It's genius.
It's so fun.
What oh god, I saw your next one. What is your next genius one? Because this one is lovely.
It's so fucking funny. I love fucking BoJack Horseman. The show is phenomenal. For so many reasons. But one of the goofiest, and for it is no reason. It is no explanation. But they never call Margot Martindale Margot Martindale. It's always esteemed character actress Margot Martindale. Like everybody says it. It's like it's part of her title. And it gets modified once when she breaks out of prison. Then she's esteemed character actress and fugitive of the law, Margot Martindale. It's such a weird no nonsense thing. Like
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like the first time she even appears, like BoJack hires her, and she goes into like a convenience store, and like the clerk is like, "Wow, is that esteemed character actress Margot Martindale?" It's such a bizarre thing they wrote, but they just keep it going every time. It's so funny for some fucking reason.
It really is fantastic, especially considering Margot Martindale is fucking awesome in like everything she does.
Yes.
See fucking season 2 of Justified, pick anything she's in. She's a fucking badass. And kind of, this is a shot at her, but it's not. Seeing her do well, seeing oh crap, I don't remember who the stepmom was, or like the godmother was in Fleabag. Hold on one second.
Holding.
Olivia Colman, like Margot Martindale, Olivia Colman. There's some male actors that fit this like archetype where they are not traditionally attractive, but acting is more than just being good looking.
Yeah.
And having that like flow through in a way where it's like, yeah, they're not attractive, but they're so good that they're getting lead roles, winning Oscars, winning Emmys, is fucking awesome to see. Yeah. It's not just, a fucking meat market.
Yeah. I absolutely agree.
Well, if you're in the market for some meat, perhaps I could interest you in some ass. Perhaps with a foot in it.
This is not your best transition. Not gonna lie to you, Chief.
Oh, really? I like that one. I thought that one was kind of clever. All right, I'm sad now. Thanks, dickhead. Perhaps I could rectify that by putting some foot in your ass. So, Red from That 70s Show has one thread, and he uses it, I don't know. I would be shocked if it's not actually every episode, to be honest.
I wonder if it's cresting like 4 digits for how often he threatens to put his foot up someone's ass.
I mean, yeah, it's the only way it's Yeah, like the only reason it wouldn't be 4 digits is if they didn't have that many episodes.
Yeah,
And even then, like there are multiple episodes where he does it more than once. So yeah,
yeah.
you're probably right. So Red Foreman, particularly in regards and in the direction of Eric Foreman, a lot of threats of sticking one's foot up their posterior, and boy howdy, does it always. It shouldn't. It should get old. It should be like, okay, whatever. I don't know why, but Red Foreman going just like that, or calling his son a dumbass. Fucking clutch as fuck. It's just good. I don't know why. Maybe it's the delivery. Maybe it's the like kind of mise en scène. I don't know. But the weird thing is, I couldn't find. Maybe it's because there's so much, but I could not find a supercut of times that Red Foreman has threatened. You know, hold on.
Threatened Derek to put a foot
Red
in his ass.
foot up ass. There's 15 times where he did it, but nope, no. There's a dumbass compilation, but not a foot up ass compilation. Bummer.
A tragedy.
It's really, mankind has missed out. Well, what is your last favorite running joke to share with us today, my friend?
I, in part, a little bit of recency bias because I rewatched Full Metal Alchemist with Eli not too long ago. But I kind of love that every person who meets Alphonse Elric for the first time, their first thought is, yeah, but you're fucking small. Without fail. Everyone assumes that he is the big dude in a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, full metal, made of metal.
Yeah. But he rocks up as this cocky teenager. And everyone's like, wow, look at how big you are in that suit of armor. And, or I'm sorry, and Alphonse has to go, no, Edward's over there. I said their names backwards. He's like, yeah, I'm Edward Elric. Like, but you're such a shrimp. You're so tiny. It's like, God damn it. The running gag of he is too small and he has to drink more milk so he can actually grow up and be a man. Just like, it is this perpetual pain point that he never quite gets over. It's just weirdly amusing to me.
It's pretty fucking great.
Are you
And also,
comfy?
just very much character redefining of chip on shoulder,
Yeah,
good but isn't recognized for it.
yeah. But it's always that's the first thing people say about him. Not like, wow, you look so young. How'd you pass the state alchemist exam? Nah, wow, you're so short. Like they just have this imagination that he's so tall. So, no, immediately disappointed. You're like 5'4". All right, what is your last favorite running gag?
My last favorite running gag is, for whatever reason, in American Dad, they have made Stan Smith's go-to shock thing to just go, ooh. And it's a delight. I don't know why it's one of my favorite running jokes. It's just every time Stan Smith is caught surprised, unawares, or in a slightly embarrassing circumstance, just
Yeah,
whether it's airing out his fucking, which I don't think
toupee.
this comes back,
Nope,
but like
never.
yeah, he's toupee for like 2 episodes that we know of. I'm sure that like that's a callback that I missed out on, but yeah, like 1 or 2 episodes he's got a toupee and he's seen blow drying it off his head. And just we get a tasty oh.
Ah! Because it's like it's the between him and
Oh yeah,
Steve.
him plus Steve Smith's is yeah. I think Steve's kind of like changes like episode to episode
Yeah,
though.
but it's just the back and forth when Steve's like cleaning the gutters and
Yeah.
sees him in a ladder.
But just the amount of times he's caught unawares by either Bullock or Fritzy just gives them tasty oh. So moving from running jokes to callbacks, which by the way, as we have a small talk about this, what is the difference between, in our estimations, between a running joke and a callback?
So, in our estimation, the big difference is that is the frequency and the kind of time between. Like, so if you're doing something every episode, it's not a callback. It's just kind of an expected gag. Um, or if you're doing something with like a semblance of regularity. But if you do something and then harken back to it way later and you don't kind of abuse that, then I would call it a callback. It's really, does it have the kind of rarity?
For sure. All right. Well, lead us off. Give us a nice tasty example.
I love Gravity Falls, and it has some of the best fucking callbacks because I can't list them all because I can have about 12. But one of the best ones from it is the grappling hook. In the first episode, Mabel and Dipper get something out of the gift shop for free because like Stan's trying to bond with his niece and nephew, and so Dipper picks up a hat, and so Mabel goes, "I will have a grappling hook." Stan goes, "I wouldn't rather have like a doll or something." She shoots it into the roof and like pulls herself up, knocks over a shelf, and he says, "Fair enough." She uses it like one other time in season one, and it just makes everything go horribly wrong. And Dipper just goes, "Can you please just admit that grappling hook is useless?" Nope. At the end of season one, when like they basically have a fight with the Gideon mech, because that's a thing, she uses it to save her and Dipper and gets to just yell one last time, like, grappling hook. It's like actually useful. What about you? What is your first callback for the list?
This one is a one-time callback, but it is a long-awaited, well-received. So in season 1 of Ted Lasso,
Mm-hmm.
he gives the trying to remember the name of the team, the Greyhounds. He gives them an option. You know, all right, guys, what is it going to be? Is it going to be movie night or pillow fight? Which also great rhyming scheme. They elect, obviously, they're grown men, football players, for movie night.
Sure.
And then they end up watching Iron Giant and crying, which is adorable and awesome.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's fucking great. He goes, like, he has to leave. He goes, all right, coach, here's the fucking tissues, because in about 15 minutes you're gonna have a bunch of full-grown men just cry. And he is not wrong. But in season 3, after the lads go out and find nothing awesome to do in Amsterdam, which fools, they come back and have a pillow fight. And so it's like this nice, like, full circle,
That's horrible.
as a team, choose this awesome activity that was suggested by your coach, who knew what you all really wanted to do all along.
Because, I mean, who among us?
Right?
So, I do have to take one other from Gravity Falls because it's such a throwaway line and I love it so much. So, in like, I think it's like episode 2, they, Grunkle Stan wants to take them to a family bonding exercise or to do some family bonding. And so Mabel goes, "Is that going to be like the last time we did a bonding exercise together?" And it cuts to them in this room making counterfeit bills. And Stan picks one up like a magnifying glass. He goes, "You call that Benjamin Franklin? It looks like a woman." And like the sirens go off. Mabel just shudders in the present. She's like, "Oh, the county jail was so cold." Fast forward a ways, and there's the episode where they're trying to find like the who actually founded Gravity Falls as like political conspiracy, and they find this like this stash of government secrets hidden underneath the town, and she just like picks up a little pamphlet. She goes, "Huh, what do you know? Benjamin Franklin was a woman." It's such a throwaway line. It's so good.
So one of my favorites, that it's used a bit early on in season 1 a couple times, and then it starts to fade and become an every so often dealy, is in Archer we get That's How You Get Ants. Just it's initially in episode 1, I think like twice. I'm just like fucking Lana knocks the donut. It's like apology donuts or something like that out of out of his hands onto the floor. He goes, "Oh, really? Yep. So, do you want to get ants, Lana? Because that's how you get ants." And it's stupid, and it's obvious, and it's still somehow awesome.
It's little things in life.
Really is. What's up next for you? What's a favorite callback?
One of the craziest kind of foreshadowing things they get to use to call back is in Futurama. In episode 1, when Fry like falls over his chair into the freezer, you see Nibbler's shadow. Like, yeah, and it's just like nothing is really done with that till like season 6 or something. Like, it's not really referenced, it's not really harkened back to, nothing. Like, until someone shows Fry like a picture of the past and he sees Nibbler's shadow, he's like, what the fuck? Like, it is left for so long before they do anything about that. But it's absolutely there. I have gone back to check. Like, no, surely not. Oh, it surely is. Which is crazy. I
don't know whose is cooler, yours or mine, on this one, because these are both awesomely deep cuts.
Yeah.
So in the show Community, I think it's like, it's probably like before episode. It's probably in season 2 or season 4. Don't think it can be in season 3 because I don't think Dan Harmon was around for that. But in the back, or there are 2 mentions of Beetlejuice, just in conversation, in reference to the cult classic. And then upon the 3rd name drop Beetlejuice, in the background over Annie's shoulder outside the study room walks somebody dressed as Beetlejuice. I don't remember if it's a Halloween episode.
I think it is a Halloween episode.
Or just out of nowhere. It doesn't matter. It's fucking awesome. The fact that they took the time, whether it was a happy coincidence of, we had this happen twice, cool, the 3rd time it works, or if it was planned from the beginning like some, super genius. I don't care. It's fucking dope as shit. Either way, I don't know. Write in to superprosebros@gmail.com. Hit us up on Bluesky at Super Prose Bros. Message me on Twitter at LikeIkes before I take mine down, because fuck that evil website. But I think that's going to be up for, until the month of April. But either way, let us know which one of those blew your mind more, because both of those to us were fucking mind.
Very deep cuts. So one of the great little lines between Jake and Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the first impression that Holt gets is Jake making fun of him, saying like he's gonna be a pencil pusher, an absolute robot, a rule following rope. And so he tells him, "All right, do your impression of a robot." And Jake goes put on the spot in front of everybody. Robot Captain, meet more Z. It's a terrible.
Tell him to like work on that too.
No, he's like, that's a terrible impression of a robot. Like, do better next time.
Yeah.
And so at the end of season 2, when Wunsch kind of gets one over on him and moves him out of the 9-9 to PR, Jake says, "Go back to being a robot captain." And Holt just kind of chuckles and goes, "Meet more Z." And then, goes back to being Holt and dismissed. At the very end of the show, the last episode, he tells a joke, or he says something to Jake. Jake goes, "Just make a joke?" He goes, "Not bad for an old robot captain." It's such a sweet kind of tie together because it's their first interaction. That's such a great callback.
So mine isn't nearly as touching. In fact, arguably, it's a lot more
Way less.
disturbing. In the awesome first season of Fallout, I don't know how many times she says it, but our fantastic main character has arguably like almost like a catchphrase of "okie dokie," which in the first couple episodes, very upbeat, very happy, very
Very chipper.
Yeah, chipper is a great word. Just okie dokie. Regardless of circumstance, which I love, like initially receiving an order, okie dokie, I'm gonna have procreative sex for the first time ever, okie dokie. It's very just this constant. And as the show goes on, it changes and is this nice callback to when we first, is a kind of reminder of when we first interacted with this character, what she was like and what she stands for. And as the show comes to a close, I believe it's the last words that are spoken in the show, are the ghoul, played by one of our favorite actors of all time,
Long Goggins.
Beast. Asking her, are you coming? And she just kind of looks out with this stark gaze at this hellish landscape and says the same words but so differently. Okie dokie. This edge, this change, and that kind of genius callback in writing. Mwah! Well played.
Yep. On a more uplifting one, in Avatar, there is the one standard weapon, though he doesn't use it too often, for Sokka. It's the boomerang, and he really doesn't use it all that often. I think you only see him use it like 3 or 4 times in this show.
Definitely brandishes it more than he uses it.
Yeah, absolutely. And but he kind of it just becomes kind of quintessential to his character, and he is the boomerang guy. And it suggested they should be Team Boomerang because it's got Aang in the name.
I forgot about that.
It's so stupid. And the last scene where he gets to use it, and I appreciate because he always talks about boomerang will always come back, like it, because he picks it up. He does lose it before. I don't remember how.
I want to say it's in the fight with the lady that's riding like on the monitor lizard or something. I think it's like some interaction. He like tries to use it, it doesn't go well, and he ends up like getting it back.
He gets it back. I don't remember. But he loses it. He ends up getting it back way later. He's like, "Boomerang, you do always come back." And at the very very end of the show, when he's like fighting on the zeppelins, he throws it and it goes. And he and Toph are just kind of fucked. He's Toph. I don't think Boomerang's coming back. And then Suki just kind of swoops in to save the day. But it's just like I love the kind of callback and reference for Boomerang for Sokka's character and kind of his growth. It's just
sick. I am putting in our chat, and it will be in our description. There is a supercut of the story of the Boomerang.
I love it. I'm happy now.
That's fucking great.
The world is a good place.
So my last entry on the callbacks is a really awesome one that is like a story that's told in the background specifically. So in, I think it's again early seasons, like 1 or 2, like they're starting to get into their every episode is its own kind of different motif.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the episode where Abed and Troy are having like they're doing their like mini Olympics, and like because Troy is being very kind of defensive that he is the strong man of the group. But it turns out
Uh-huh.
Abed's actually like shockingly good at sports and like
Yeah.
physical activities to where he beats fucking Troy in arm wrestling. But at the end of the episode, it's at a sex fair or something like that. And
It's like sex ed fair or something.
it's a sex ed fair. And the dean geniusly has stapled condoms to things so that they can't be.
It's like a waiver.
Yeah, and then like Chang notices that he's an idiot and he's made them now useless and given them out to a lot of people.
A lot of drunk college students.
A lot of drunk college kids so they can have safe sex, wink, except he's made it not safe. And so he tells Troy to run to the office to make an announcement. And then there's this adorable moment where he's like, "No, actually, Abed, you should run. You're faster." And the dean's just like, "Well, for fuck's sake, will one of you just go?" And so Abed runs off and does the awesome like Tism kind of reading. He gets there and goes, "All right, don't use condoms. Don't use the condoms given to you. Just don't use
condoms.
Don't use condoms." So later in future episodes, in the background, it's not even ever talked about, but in the background, a couple that are at the fair you can see them hear Abed over the announcements, and they throw away the condom. Later, those two extras are in the background, and they have the boyfriend has an altercation with Abed. Again, in the background. Episodes later, you can see the boyfriend coming and finding Abed, taking him to their car where Abed helps the young girl give birth. Then it comes to light that when Shirley's giving birth, that he knows how to, like, the proper procedure for a woman to give birth. And I think it's Troy's like, "How do you know this?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I helped deliver a kid earlier this year." He goes,
God.
"So do you just have like adventures in the back, like, when you're not around us?" He goes, "Yeah, pretty much." And Troy Ben's like, "Ah, cool. Me too." And he's clearly like kind of hurt that he wasn't like kept in the loop on this. And it's just this awesome thing that is just completely just like happening in the periphery of the show. It's so cool. Let's see if they like made a cut of it. But either way, moving on to our third and final category, what are we talking about now, my guy?
So we're talking about what introductions, what scenes or kind of opening episodes or opening scenes of opening episodes really hooked you in, dragged you in, you went, "Oh yeah, we're watching this shit." And for me, I think one of the most inventive scenes, thank you, Isaac, for reminding me of it, is the start of is Zom 100, which is such a unique and different perspective on a zombie apocalypse. Which is a weird thing to say. But the main character has an abysmal life. He is being exploited. He is being worked to the bone. He has no fun. He has no joy. He has no nothing. And they keep doing this really clever thing where they sap the color out. It's being slowly desaturated over the first 6 minutes of the show or 7 minutes of the show. And it's kind of soul crushing. Because you're just watching a guy get stepped on and his time isn't valued and he's an abusive boss, but he doesn't know how to get out and he doesn't want to stand up for himself. And so it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And then everything goes to shit because suddenly zombies. And Tokyo is just abruptly chaotic. And his first reaction is, "Oh my God, I don't have to go to work." And suddenly the screen is snapped back to full color. He's just smiling. He's excited.
the best day of his life.
Yeah, the man is suddenly living his life again. He's so excited. But it's such this, and they do it pretty subtle, is how they desaturate. And so them snapping it back to full color and full saturation, it has so much impact to it. It's so cool. So it's such a cool first episode, such a cool start to a show. What about you?
Ah, we before when we were writing this list, we correctly agreed that the movie is good, but this intro is better than the rest of its parts. The farmhouse scene, the first 10 minutes of Inglorious Bastards,
Yep.
with Christoph Waltz introducing us to him as an actor, as an American audience, and just how god damn badass he is.
Yeah.
The scene is just oozing with like everything that makes cinema. There's so much of it is intangible. It's kind of like when you know, when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And just like watching that scene, it's just, oh, this is what cinema can be. Oh, this is what an intro can be.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it that is subtext and it's not said, but you feel it and you know what's at stake here. Even though for the first 9 minutes, nothing is particularly being discussed that should, on paper,
they're talking about like having
fear.
milk. Like,
yeah, milk and, oh, do you mind if I smoke my pipe? Just having, casual kind of conversation about things. It's not about nothing. Like he is talking about like hunting Jews and, oh, this and they call me that. And, but it's just, it's in the air. It's it's what makes acting and why it isn't just reading the lines. It's so much more than that. And this scene really shows us what subtext is, what good acting is, and just oh my god. We're gonna try to include as many of these intros into the description so you guys can watch them. This one is an all-timer, and the best part about these is we're not spoiling anything. We are just giving you just a taste.
Yeah. I love Mad Max Fury Road. I think it has a great start and it sets the fucking tone for the rest of the damn movie. It kind of sets up that Max is adrift, and that fits since in many ways he's not the focal point of the show or of the movie. But I like that you get 2 seconds of exposition and that's it. Here we go. We've got people with grenades on sticks. Go ape shit. And I like that you get to show Max being pretty much a beast, and why people are kind of afraid of him, as he almost like just kind of bashes his way out of prison because he doesn't want to brand. But it's just such a good high octane start. I'm like, okay, I'm into this. Let's go. Even though it doesn't really result in much with him being recaptured. Don't care. Sets the tone perfectly. 10 out of 10, in my opinion. It is still, to date, the only movie I've seen in theaters twice in the same day. It might forever be the only movie I do that with, to be fair, but...
Banger.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, like, that one, while great, is also, it was kind of, because it was not only because it was great, but it was also like an opportunity thing, right?
Yeah, and just because Colton and Co were supposed to like go to Japan and like their flight got canceled. They were basically just stuck in Reno, and I was like, I got a movie we should see. And Art was like, yeah, I'd fucking watch it again. So we just ran it back like 5 hours later. We were back in the theaters.
So next up, I've got one of my favorite ones, especially from the MCU, but just in general, when it kind of, it's an inciting incident that also just turns up the volume.
Sure.
X2 and the Nightcrawler assassination attempt it's flawless, like, movie, like, just superhero. I don't want to call it schlock, but it's just like,
it's terrific choreography.
It's terrific choreography, but the fact that it goes from 0 to 100 and relatively, it doesn't go back to zero because now we have this problem.
Yeah.
What is that problem? What happens from here? It asks, it gives you, it does what I think every good inciting incident should do. And some of these on this list are not, to be fair, are not inciting incidents. They are morsels of a bigger meal.
Yeah.
This one really does. Okay, we've set the scene. This crazy shit happens. It's just infinitely rewatchable, and it's going to clearly set up a bunch of things that are going to happen in this movie. But what are they? What
Yeah.
is the response to something so absurdly fantastical and dope and scary, and like there's so many
Yeah.
ramifications that can happen from this that you need to know more. Even if you know the universe, even if you know the characters, you need to know what happens next because what is going to happen next. There's so many good responses. You need to know more. Also, just having Nightcrawler get honored with, considering he is traditionally a far more pacifistic character and doesn't kind of get into these situations, to have a character like that as a fan of the franchise, to get him to do that and where it makes sense,
Yeah.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah. And it's just, it really is such a perfect visual spectacle. Like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
And they
The way they shot it,
the way they shot it, because that could have been such a clusterfuck of jump cuts, and it wasn't.
Yeah. No, they really did a great job. Also, the fact that they played with, they do a really smart thing of a, I saw this in a every frame a painting in regarding comedy that is done with Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, where you set up the joke enough, you can do it off screen to subvert expectation and make it funny in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you set up the fight for the first minute, and you know what's happening. Your ear and your eye gets used to that sound equals teleportation, and then it cuts to the inside of the Oval Office, and you're just hearing it, and it's so like, oh shit! All you can do is imagine the insanity that's going on outside this door, and now you're in their shoes, kind of the similar idea of holy
slowly
fuck.
wetting their pants.
Yeah. Or if I was in the room, quickly. Fucking wow, you got a hose
give
in
me
your
the
pants,
brown
Sears?
pants.
Yeah, exactly. Oh damn, you just reminded me. Fuck. I might have to have a sixth entry. Okay.
Okay.
So, but I mean, yeah, it's such a good setup.
Yeah, it is a phenomenal opening scene.
So we have a break from form here. What's your next entry?
We do. I have a book at a recommendation of my co-host. I picked up Jade City, and damn, it opens with a banger.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Why did you say yours fast?
I was just matching the tone and cadence. So the initial chapter is like a jade heist. And people are going to, and so it sets up, it does such a clever thing for writing where it sets up how the powers work, because Jade is the superpower in this series. It sets up that there are people who can touch it and people who can't. And it sets up the idea of like that there are gangs and what kind of position in society it holds for people who have Jade versus people who don't. And it kind of does this fucking rug pull on you too, where I entirely assumed that the book was going to be about this Jade thief and his cohort, and they're going to make their way up and like be somebody. Nah, they get fucking worked. They try to steal Jade off a dude. The kid grabs it, which he's basically just hit with like a drug, because he's suddenly high on power and strength and speed. The problem is there's like actual Jade carrying gangsters upstairs who know how to use the stuff, and they beat his ass immediately. And it just does this absolute paradigm swap where it uses that to introduce you to the family, to the Call clan, or the Call family and the No Peak clan. And it's such a cool way to just introduce you to so many people and show you who some of the main characters are right out the gate. kind of in a little cheeky way, like, I fucking got you, didn't I? So I really like. Also, just it it goes pretty hard. I really enjoyed it. So what do you got next as your for an opener?
So I love. There's a little bit of history to go on here, but I love the opening scene to Baby Driver. I love Edgar Wright. I love the way he directs all of his movies. But this has been one that he's actually been wanting to do for a very long time. And you can see this because hold on, there's see if I can find it. There was a so the opening to Baby Driver is there's a bank heist. It's set to sound, or it's set to it's basically a music video, but this comes from, I'm trying to figure out where the hell it is. It comes from something else. So Edgar Wright did a music video for actually wait, hold on, I can look that up. So he did a music video for Mint Royale called Blue Song. It's a good song. It's something you've heard before, and it's got Noel Fielding and a couple other of his traditional kind of go-to Brits that are
Sure.
good. This came out in 2003. This is like that would have been pretty early on to before he like was really making movies,
Sure.
and well before he did Baby Driver. But it's the same relative premise. Goes up, parking garage, waits for the guys to come out. I think it's actually in the music video, I think it's actually not a bank robbery. It's supposed to like kind of look like one, but they're actually just like fucking doing something else.
Yeah.
But it's the same relative premise of drive up, thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is like messing around in the car to the song like perfectly. And
Yep.
then this one with Baby Driver drives away very much to the rhythm of the song and does badass drive moves. Fucking rad. And it really just kind of where with I just realized I'm doing mine out of order. With Baby Driver compared to like X2,
Mm-hmm.
where it very much sets X2 sets up, all right, what's going to happen next? Baby Driver is very much a good way of setting the setting.
Mm-hmm.
So much of this lets you know what you're in store for. Is this your cup of tea?
Yeah.
And what to expect more of, and you get all of those. So I think this is actually probably the best one to, if you're unsure if you want to go see the movie or not, watch the opening scene. Just you can find it on YouTube. It'll probably be linked below. And to see if, oh, do I like this? Cool, I should go watch the movie. It's going to be this and then some. Or, it's not really my cup of tea. I didn't really vibe with that. Cool. Stay home. Go to a different showing. Rent a different movie.
Yeah.
Which honestly, in today's kind of, with the way we consume movies, it's a fucking great opener. If especially, they put out the opener pretty early on. I think I remember watching the opener before going and seeing the movie. So also you get to hear a very uncut or unplayed gem by Elvis of Bell Bottoms. Yeah. All right, what you got next?
I haven't watched Fringe in a while, but damn, I forgot how hard the opener of this goes. For just it, especially when you consider this is effectively a weekly encapsulated episode for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus H Christ, the opener goes hard. The opening scene is a bunch of people on a plane, and it's in like this. It's in the middle of a storm. The your seatbelt light goes on. Buckle up.
Yeah.
And pans of people who are like speaking a number of different languages, and it just slowly walks back, and you see this guy who's just fucking sweating. And he's just like it looks like he's just trying not to have a panic attack and vomit all at the same time. And he reaches into this briefcase, and, like under the seat in front of him, pulls out this little leather bound bag kind of thing. opens it, and gives himself a shot, almost like he's giving himself an insulin shot. And the guy next to him is like, "My friend, it's just a storm. It's just some turbulence. We fine." He goes, "Yeah, sure, sure, sure," and puts it back. And then he just freaks out, takes his seatbelt off, and starts running towards the back of the plane. And the stewardess like, "Shit," and like unbuckles off and runs after him. And he turns, like she catches up to him. And he turns around, and he's just like freaking out, screaming, and his hand is like blistering. And so people start screaming all over the plane as they start doing the exact same thing. And so they cuts to like in the front of the plane, the pilot, he's like puts it on auto, and his co-pilot opens the door to look at what's happening, and then turns back as his face is like melting and his jaw comes off.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's just kind of disintegrating. And it pans outside the plane, and it's just kind of quiet as the plane just kind of flies into another cloud. And then it rolls the intro.
God damn.
Just like, Jesus Christ! Just a plane of people melting. What the fuck? We're 2 minutes in. Yeah, that's how the show starts.
That's crazy.
It really sets the tone of, you think you know what's going to happen? I guarantee you do not. And I, probably for that reason, I really enjoyed the show. And it's a wonky, wild hooks it throw at you. I may have to rewatch it. I have to find where.
Sounds
to
like you're
rewatch
convincing others and yourself.
Yeah, I have to find where to rewatch it, mind you, but I may have to rewatch it. So, what do you got next?
So next up, we've got an all-timer in The Matrix. The first season of the first scene of The Matrix doesn't involve our hero at all.
Mm-hmm.
And for a hot second, we think it just involves a crazy lady in a laptop. It opens with Serenity just typing away on that fantastical green number, like roll down screen.
Trinity or Trinity?
Trinity. Thank you. Fuck. You're absolutely right. It's Trinity. So Trinity's there just typing away, and you're like, all right, whatever. Cops come up. You're like, okay. And the agents come up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we've got it under control. Don't worry. We sent our men. And she get the awesome line from, if you don't know, the person who played Elrond from Lord of the Rings, being like, actually, officer, your men are already dead. It's just like, what? And it just cuts and does. You get the intro very much like Baby Driver. You get the intro to the fucking fight choreography, the stylized slow-mo spins, and the awesomeness of that scene. Just like fucking the sound, everything that makes up that series happens in that scene. I don't think it's a good description of what happens next or whether you'll like it or not, because so much of that movie and the trilogy is so different.
Yeah.
But I think that is like a really good, like, oh shit, we are in for something different.
Yeah.
What was your impression the first time you saw that scene?
I haven't. I have never seen the first Matrix. I just know her name is Trinity. I know. It's like one of the greatest classics I haven't fucking seen.
Maybe before you go back and rewatch Fringe for the third time.
I've only seen it once.
For the 8th time.
What is happening?
You watch at least the opening to the Matrix. Preferably the whole entire movie, because I think while the next two, depending upon your impression, kind of drop the ball maybe a little here and there, I do believe that the first one is perfect.
Okay. I have heard the first one is tremendous. So.
It's tremendous and also stands on its own. The second and third are good. They were not necessary. I think they're very good, and they do a lot to like paint a bigger picture, expand the universe, tell like more of the story.
Sure.
But just kind of like the first Star Wars doesn't actually need to. If there was only A New Hope, it stands fine.
Yeah.
If there was only The Matrix, it stands fine.
Gotcha.
What else stands so fine that we had to talk about it on this episode, though?
Oh, we have to talk about the bank robbery for A Dark Knight.
I thought you were just gonna leave it there.
Just
Dude, the cops watch this show.
the first like 6 minutes of Dark Knight as an introduction to the Heath Ledger Joker are fucking incredible. And just watching the kind of clown brigade slowly take each other out with the like, oh, it's one less share.
Yeah.
With the slow kind of ticking music in the background. So good. And them realizing, oh, we're hitting a fucking mob bank. What the shit? Because they are uninformed, you discover. The manager of the bank pulling out a shotgun, which it also leads to one of the great lines ever with one of the dudes getting shot in the shoulder. Who taught you to count? And the one guy who puts it together is the guy with slug in his shoulder and goes, I'll bet Joker told you to kill me too, only for the absolute rug pull of, no, no, no. He said to shoot the bus driver.
Yeah.
What bus driver? Flattened. It is such a scene that keeps you on your toes, and you do not know. Nobody expects a bus to come through the wall of a bank. Nobody has that on their bingo card at any point ever in history. And that sets up such a perfect scene for the Joker because you don't get to know what's coming next, and you don't expect below the clown mask is fucking clown makeup. Who does that? This lunatic. That's who. It's such a good introduction for the villain. Like it is so perfectly done. Barring the helicopter you can see recording and the reflection on a building, but that's kind of who cares. Kind of a goofy little mistake on their part. Yeah, it's God, it is such a good scene. Like Heath Ledger absolutely carried that movie. God damn, he deserved that Oscar.
Yes, sir.
Stupid imaginary Dr. Parnassus. Anyway.
It's a diatribe for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
So my last entry on this list has actually just been recently changed.
I'm watching you edit in real time here.
I was going to have it be Indiana Jones with the Golden Idol, which is a banger, a
Solid.
classic. However, it's going to have to be omitted because while I do enjoy it and would highly recommend checking it out, if not to see fucking Doc Ock like multiple decades before he gets that job, which is kind of awesome. So one of the guys that is I think it's the guy that tries to steal the Golden Idol from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy that plays Dr. Octopus in
the
MCU.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Did not know that.
Yeah. However, my partner here made mention of Maximum Effort, which immediately reminded me of Deadpool. And that one has to be on this list for two reasons. One, it's one of my favorites to the beginning of one of my favorite MCU, and arguably might be one of my like top 20 movies of all time. It's a banger.
That's really good.
I think it's like one of the best things in MCU canon. And the intro to it,
rich Corinthian leather.
Very quotable. I usually don't say this. Don't swallow. It's so good, and sets up the rest of the movie so well. Again, very similar to Baby Driver, of oh, this is what we're in for. I can either watch the rest of the movie or I can turn it off now. It's great in that regard. What's even better about it is it's the reason we have the movie. So some of you may not know that the ages ago, before the movie ever came out, there was leaked test footage after the movie had been canceled. The project was done. They are not making it. But it had the audio track, that whole entire scene was done. And somebody, I would bet high money on Ryan Reynolds, but you can point fingers wherever you want, leaked it to the internet. And it exploded. And that's the reason the movie exists. Without that, it would have just died on the cutting room floor and
Yep.
never seen the light of day.
Yep.
So literally the intro of intros, I think. And also just fucking
Also, Ryan
all-time
Reynolds has a
killer.
he's fucking drawing with crayons so that while fighting, he can just pull up a picture. Have you seen
Have you
this
seen
man?
this man?
This is he's doing like listening to music on an overpass, drawing with crayons.
I also
Literally-
love how the songs, the dichotomy between the songs is amazing. The first song is fucking Shoot the Whoop by Salt and Peppa. Banger.
Yeah.
Very on brand.
Classic.
Also, immediately breaks the fourth wall in the first like minute.
Yeah, like, oh, didn't see you there.
Yeah. And then in the car fight via changing stations, you get Call me Angel.
Yeah. Well, the car's like rolling.
As it's rolling,
As
and
it's
somebody
rolling
goes
credits.
splat hard against the overpass sign. And with that whimsical frivolity, we're going to send it to an ad break. But please let us know again at superprosebros@gmail.com. Hit us up on Blueski at Super Prose Bros, or, you know, wherever. Find us in the street. Tell us what your favorite running jokes, callbacks, or intros were.
Make it
We would
happen.
love to know.
Do you wish that you could engage in reckless acts of wanton violence? Do you wish that you had the confidence and constitution of a Navy SEAL? Do you wish that criminal liability was wildly subjective? If those ring true, action movies might just be for you. With plenty of morally questionable motives and plots that sacrifice substance for style and explosions, action movies appeal to those basal urges that make us want to make things go boom. So what are you waiting for, killer? The day isn't going to save itself.
I'm back.
Hello back. I'm dead.
Shut the fuck up. I hate that shit with a passion. Anybody that ever says that, I have a fucking strong urge to slap them in the face.
That explains your violence against our father.
Nah, he's earned that in other ways. Listen, how many times has that man like driven off and made us chase a minivan down? Consider.
Fact.
I'm gonna say I don't want to slap that man because of his bad jokes. Send
There's
him man
much
because he's an
higher
asshole.
criteria. This is getting left in. Okay.
Hi, Dad.
See you next Christmas. So you talked about a recent
I
book from a
did.
really cool source that recommended it.
All right, yeah, get off my ass. So, as I mentioned, I read Jade City.
Via whose recommendation?
Yeah, motherfucker, I already shouted you out. You need to calm down.
I don't get this often. Okay.
Yeah, Jade City fucking smacks. It's by Fondly. It's basically like if you put two superpowered gangs running Hong Kong. Is kind of what it feels like. It's a really cool kind of really cool world building. It's terrific kind of like the character drama is really well written. The characterization is really, really good. The action is pretty fucking great. It's really cool. Like it's a really, really cool fucking book. It's a good thrill ride. I enjoyed my time with it immensely. I'm very excited to get the two sequels. So
Sick. So, relatively recently, was told by many people online to check out the movie Flow.
sure.
Went and saw it actually quite a while back, but now that it has got an Oscar for Best Animated Feature, I can say, don't watch this movie. Whoever recommended it's a fucking idiot. This
Flow?
movie is
What?
so okay. It's not bad. It's just for the recommendations it's got and the claim it has. I am baffled. So this is a movie out of, I think it's like Hungary or like some
Oh, this is
Like
not what I thought it was at all. Okay,
some like peculiar small nation in Europe.
sure.
Uh, and
I don't know if you should qualify it as peculiar, but okay.
why?
Because every nation's peculiar. It feels like a weird
Okay, it's a nation that
small European nation. Good enough.
yeah, sure, whatever. All right, fucking editor. Uh, so
All right. Nope, I gotta say it. I can't sit on it. But, like, if you just like, oh, it's some fucking. If you said like some weird African nation, you just don't do that. Just don't have that qualifier.
some peculiar.
God damn it!
All right, some relatively small and like it's not a nation that you think of when you think of Europe. It's not going to be like the first 20 nations you would list.
Sure, most people don't
Definitely not
think
the
of
first 10. Anyway, it doesn't
Luxembourg off
matter.
the top,
Whatever.
but it's still there.
Sure. Okay,
Stop
fine.
digging. You're making it worse.
I'm trying to explain. I'm not trying to dig. You're right, but I'm just saying why I said what I said. Anyway, Nate, an off the beaten path animated feature. Dude, if it wasn't nominated for an Oscar, it would never have played in American cinemas.
Okay, sure.
It's so weird. For first off, it's basically a silent film. It just has animals making noises. Doesn't have any text whatsoever, which is cool until you watch it and like there's so much and so little that happens. If you want to know what I mean, watch the fucking movie. It looks like it was made. It looks like a student film that was given enough time and like good, but like it looks like a student film that was started 10 years ago and they didn't change the animation software they were using.
Yeah, I'm looking up like stills of it. I can kind of see what you're saying.
It looks old and underfunded.
It looks like high quality Blender footage.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. It's
So,
not
damn,
bad,
cat
but
eyes
definitely,
are So damn, the cat's eyes are adorable.
Cat's eyes are adorable. And then you start watching the rest of the cat move and you're like, wow, this is low res as fuck. No, it's not. Why is it look this way? I don't know. So, if you saw that it won an Oscar, approach it with like kids' gloves. If you want to see a kind of interesting take on what can be done in animation and not in like pushing the limits, but kind of being minimalistic, then check it out. I don't think it's particularly good. I think despite their kind of tried and true formula in many ways, I would rather see my recommendation of the week, Toy Story 4. I think despite my initial like disinterest given again, I think bad trailer of we're dealing with a fucking spork and then having Key and Peele do a weird routine as like what they were like fair prizes was a little bit like ugh. I think that was a little bland. But kind of like Zootopia, watched it anyway, and fantastic. Movie's great. It's very weird. I was watching it in a room full of junior hires and like high schoolers who could have given less, like they could not have given less fucks if they needed to.
Yeah.
They just did not care. And I'm over here. Me and the other teacher in the room are just enjoying the shit out of it. But like, this movie's great because it fucking is. And tells a really cool story. And I like the kind of moral lesson of not going along with what you feel like you're required to do by society, other people's expectations, but rather what do you want? What do you need? What is going to, best suit you? And not in like this, I'm the main character sort of way, but in, looking at yourself and being honest with what you need. So yeah, would highly recommend. Very enjoyable. So, been listening to anything this week, my guy?
So I recommended a song by an EDM artist called Cubby, Kubbi. The song is called Pathfinder. It's delightful. It's not super, like, unlike most of the stuff I listen to that's very hard and aggressive and up tempo. It's much more reserved. It's much more laid back. It's very good. It's very good listening music. It's good to kind of zone out to and just enjoy as background music for an activity, or you can also just get kind of into it and groove a bit. It's really good. It's like 5 minutes. You'll enjoy every second.
Sweet.
Okay.
So this is definitely not for everybody and definitely not background music. I have recently fallen in love with Sophie Hunter. Most everything I've heard by her is fantastic. It very much is. So she's a female rapper. I get the impression she's from the East Coast. It's very bold. It's very brazen, but it's very much speaking her version. I don't. That sounds bad. She's speaking her truth.
Sure.
And very much her her lexicon, her flow is so different. It's so original, and it's so, like, Honest isn't giving it enough gravitas, but it really does just cut through everything, and it's stylized, it's aggressive, it's in your face, but it's just authentic and so fun. So if you like rap, if you're a big fan of, kind of, I don't like saying it this way, but it's really hard not to, like, kind of female empowerment in the most kind of organic way, I would really recommend checking her out. It's really rough. It's not for everybody, so definitely don't feel, like you're doing something bad for not liking it. Definitely isn't everybody's cup of tea, including I've got friends that are huge rap fans. I've showed them her discography, the song, and they're like, oh, it's good, I don't really like it. Like, that's fair, it's not for everybody, but if anything I described sounds intriguing to you, I'd recommend giving it a try. It's fucking rad. I can't stop listening to it. All right, so I have a funny story to go along with our quip off this week, which is
Galaxy Quest, the terrific spoof.
Should I tell the story before or after?
Before.
Okay. So one of the funny lines to kind of, I don't think it's a really good one because it requires a back and forth anyway, but in the film there is a discussion of minors and minors. And the kind
minors, not minors.
Exactly that.
Yep.
So fucking hilarious. It needs, like, context and, back and forth for the confusion to be available. Not good for quip off anyway. However, the other day I was grading homework from a student, as I am to do at my occupation. And it asked the question, how was life for minors in the gold, like during the gold rush? Well, the kid misspelled it. So they looked up how is it for minors, and they wrote a very good answer from, like, doing some Google research, which, fine, whatever, it's the world we live in now.
Sure.
But instead of, like, I'm looking at the answer key, and it's like, yeah, like, they had to deal with this and that. I was like, okay, and then I look, and it's just wildly off. I was like, that's weird. And then I read their answer, and I was like, oh no. They Googled what it was like for children in the Old West, not like gold hunting old men. And it's just like, I really want to give them points, because it's like they messed up by a letter.
Yeah, one vowel difference.
Yeah, one vowel difference. And it's a very plausible and reasonable answer. I think I gave them like half credit. I was like, you know what? They did the research. They wrote a very good response.
There's effort. We'll give it.
Yeah, there's effort. It's historical information of the time, arguably more important to them than knowing how it was for, 40-year-old men digging up rocks. So it's like, yeah, okay. So without further ado, let me put on the old timer Rooney here. We give you our quippening of Galaxy Quest. Take it away, Broskinkowski.
By Gramthar's hammer, what a savings.
Never give up. Never surrender.
There's no quantum flux. There's no auxiliary. There's no goddamn ship. You got it?
There's a red thingy moving towards the green thingy. I think we're the green thingy.
You need to move it a little bit to the right.
Look, I have one job on this lousy ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. Okay?
Just one more turn and straight on through the chompers. The chompers.
Whoever wrote this episode should die.
It doesn't even make sense. It's nonsensical. This is badly written.
Did I just hear that the animal turned inside out and then exploded?
Please hold.
It's a rock. It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.
It's a rock monster. It doesn't have motivation.
Oh, I know. You construct a weapon. Look around. Can you form some sort of rudimentary lathe?
My ship will tear through yours like tissue paper. And you seem to not notice my ship's trailing mines.
Hey, don't open that. It's an alien planet. Is there air? You don't know.
Seems okay.
Nobody knows. You know why? Because my character isn't important enough for a last name. Because I die in the first 5 minutes.
You have a last name, guy.
Do I? Do I? Did you guys even watch the show?
I've been saying it for years. Mentally unstable.
Alex, where are you going?
See if there's a pub.
And with that awesome comedic interplay, that is going to end our episode. So thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, please feel free to
Like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
but don't forget, new episodes of Super Prose Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye.